Hi everyone, it's Jean from Inky Owl Studio. Well, it's been a while since I have made a video. My husband and I have been away. We took about 3 weeks to take a trip up to Michigan to visit my daughter and my son-in-law and my two grandbabies. Had a wonderful time, and we did that for about 3 weeks, and my husband came home, but I stayed an extra week to spend with my sister who lives a little bit away from my daughter, but she still lives in Michigan. So I spent a week there with her. So, oh, yes, it was a fun time, but I'm not sure I'll want to be away 4 weeks again from home. It's just a long time to be out of routine and to gain all that weight because of all the goodies I ate. Well, anyways, so I am back, and as I had promised, I have a free digital for you, and it is a seed packet, a lavender seed packet. Get a little bit of a close-up here. And this video is going to be sort of the assembly instructions for this project. Now, I know about probably a while ago, at least a month ago, I did film a seed packet assembly, not this particular one, but it was one in how I showed how you could put seeds in it and still adhere the seeds, but sort of like a shaker card, sort of, but I will link that down below. It'll be better showing you than explaining. And this is going to be assembled much like it, but there's a little difference that I'm going to put in it. And I'm also going to put a link in here when you download this digital. There will be a link to this YouTube a particular video so that you'll always have the instructions on how to assemble this together. And so you will need, of course, the digital, and I would print this out on a nice, quality paper rather than cardstock, although you could use cardstock. It's up to you. And you'll need a hole punch or a die cut of a circle that's about 1 to 1 1/4 inch. This is a 1 1/4 inch hole punch here. So in that range, if you don't have either of those, you could find a bottle. I don't know that I have one right here, but you can find like some kind of a bottle to trace around the bottom and then cut it out by hand. But if you don't care to assemble it the way I'm going to show you today, then you can just use this like a label. Write something fun in it, or glue in some words, or whatever you'd like to do with that. So those are the options. And you'll also need a piece of acetate. Now you can get, you also don't have to go out. This is like a page protector that you get in an office supply. But if you look around, you probably have bought something with a plastic type of packaging in it. So you can use that too. Anything clear would really be great. So let's get started. So I have all my pieces cut out, and you'll also need, I forgot to mention, something to put in the shaker card. I've got these little lavender seed beads, but you can use, whatever you want to use to put in there to act as seeds. They can be actual seeds. If you have any, that would be great too. So anyways, let's get started with this. Now the first thing we'll want to do is cut a hole here inside this label area. And I've got my ruler. I would suggest you find the middle first. And if you look at these two, they look like little hearts. These 2 points are right between here. If you just measure in between there and then find the middle, I'm going to use my handy dandy Tim Holtz ruler that has a 0, and then you can measure equal distances on each side to find the middle point. Otherwise, you can just measure that. I'm going to guess that's about it's 1.5 inches, so 3/4 of an inch would be the middle area. And line up your hole punch or your die cut, whichever you have. Now I tried to put this, let's see here, close enough to the edge here so that And see, I did not get a very good hole. It's not a perfect hole, but it'll be all right. I tried to get this down low enough so that most punches should be able to reach that area. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is going to prepare this square. So you'll want the printed side to show underneath. You don't want the white side. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fold about 1/4 of an inch all the way around into that printed side on all 4 sides. And then when I get done with that, I'm going to miter the corners, which means I'm just going to cut on a slant. And if you'll notice how these 2 folds intersect, and these are intersecting like right here at that point, I'm going to cut a little distance from that, like 1/8 of an inch or so from that intersection. And I just mentioned this for those that are new to crafting. And now we will refold these 3 sides. And the reason we're mitering those edges is to get rid of some of the bulk. It wouldn't be absolutely necessary, no. All right, so fold them down. Now I'm going to take my acetate and whatever it is that whatever clear product you have that you want to put in there, we're going to cut a square that is a bit bigger than our circle. And I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to eye it up and cut that out. But as you see, you want it to be quite a bit larger than your opening there. And I'm going to use a little bit of glue. Now you don't want to use too much, and you don't want to get too close to the circle because it can seep on the inside. And so there we go. I'm putting that down here carefully. And just as long as you got within the paper line, you are fine, ready to go. And then there's that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to glue just 3 sides of this down onto the back of this opening. So I'm just going to come in here and you don't have to put gobs and gobs of glue, you just want to seal up the edges here. And I'm going to go in there with my finger actually and just sort of get it out. I do want to glue both edges down so that the little tiny seed beads don't get caught in between there. And then I'm going to glue this down. Now I don't want this edge here to show up in my circle like that. So I'm going to lay this down and glue right at the very edge of that circle like this at first. That way I know I won't be getting it over there. And then I'm going to glue these down. And don't worry about getting it absolutely even inside because you're not going to see it. All right. Now before you fill it, the best thing is to let that dry. A little bit at least. So while it's drying, we will just go ahead and fold this tab in here along the line. Fold this tab down this way. Alrighty. Okay, I might even snip this just a little bit here, get that mitered. And then we're going to fold this flap over, and I am going to align this edge here with, very close to the edge of that folded tab area. Just like this here. So that, it comes sort of up to that point a little bit. So there it is. It's folded all the way around. And I'll just miter it, or not miter it, but burnish it. And then we'll fold down this here. Now this is a good time if you want to put in a thumb notch here with your hole punch. This might be a good time to do that. It's not necessary, but I am going to put in a little bit of a one right there. There. Okie dokie. So now this is ready to fill in the back here. So you want to make sure you're not separating it, the glued area. There we go. We'll make a little cup. I am going to take my seed beads, and they are a crazy little lot. When they get loose, they go everywhere. So I'm going to use a little measuring spoon to put in a little bit there. And we're going to glue down. We're going to glue down the top, so I'm going to fold it back in like this, right? And let's just make sure it lays flat. Now you can also use tape for this. Tape probably over time will tend to give way, but sometimes it doesn't. So I'm just, sorry, can't really see that. But I am putting a little line of glue. How can I do this so you can see? Putting a little line of glue. Actually, I think I'm going to put it, instead of on the tab, I'm going to put it on the backing there. And this then can get glued down. But like I say, you can put tape around here instead. Okay, so now we have our wonderful little seed pocket shaker card with these cute little lavender seed beads in it. All we have to do now is just glue down this section here. And I'm just going to put a line of glue on the very edge. And I'm going to put a line of glue on the edge of this tab and on this tab here. There we go. And we're going to fold it over and glue it down. I have to get those little seed beads out of the way there. There. Okay. Alrighty. It's glued down nicely. Hands, I've kind of got glue on them. Sorry about that. So anyways, there is a little cute seed beads. Oh, I love it. There's a couple in there that are kind of large and how they got in there. Anyways, there's your shaker card, or your shaker seed packet, I should say. So you still have room to write on here. And the reason that we put the pocket in there, or that little section, is so that you still have room to, let's see if I can find something to stick in there to show you. Here, let's just use the scrap paper. You have room all the way in to put in some kind of a journaling card or whatever. All right, and places to write there. Now we're going to put this little label on the top of it, and it's going to act like a little closure. And I would recommend gluing this to a piece of cardstock. It probably would work just a little better if it was on something firmer. So let me just glue that there and cut it out like so. All right, and I'm going to glue about 1/3 of the way, with 1/3 of the card or label on that side, on the bottom side, and I'm going to glue it in place so that this flap sits down you know, at least a fourth of the way down inside there. All right, and this way you just merely take this out like so, and then you can put it back in. All right, it's best to make sure that you let that dry before you start fiddling with it. But anyway, so there's the seed packet. Really fun with a little shaker, a shaker seed packet. I guess maybe that's what we should call it, right? So anyways, check the links down below to get the free digital, and I will see you next time. I am still working on my Shakespeare nature book journal, so that's coming in the next video. I'll be starting to add to that and getting along with that project. So thanks a lot for viewing. It's so nice to see you again, and we'll see you later. Bye.